Right, have the instructions. The instructions, right. And Mr. Brown, the exhibits, sir, I don't know if Mr. Darnell needs those or not. Thanks, sir.
So I stand before you right now as the last person that you will hear from before you go eat lunch. I know you ordered it, so I know that I've got to be quick because it's 12:30 and it's time to eat lunch, right? So I'm not going to take much of your time, just like Mr. Brown was very brief and concise in his statements as well. But the instructions are fairly straightforward. That in this county on or about November 10th, he tampered with the person's property in Marsh County Park by turning a spigot on and leaving it running, so as to endanger the property of the park. And that's it. That's the whole instruction there. And I agree with Mr. Brown. You know, this isn't a case of whodunit, and this isn't really a case of what happened. It's a case of how we interpret what happened, and we can interpret it different ways, obviously, as being attorneys on opposite sides, but the real interpretation comes down to you guys. You guys have the final say-so on how to interpret the evidence that you've heard today and whether or not that meets the statute. And obviously, I'm going to disagree with Mr. Brown, saying that I think we have proven beyond a reasonable doubt that his conduct did violate the terms of this statute here under this instruction. And let's just do a real brief review of what we heard. Jessica Treese, the first witness, she testified on November the 4th. Saw him standing there and watching the water running for 7 or 8 minutes, not using it. Just that's water wasted. On November the 10th, she shows up to work. Multiple spigots are left running. More water wasted. We've got the front entrance that is flooded because of that. Now, on November 10th, you might say, well, one spigot running might be a mistake. Multiple spigots running, that's intentional. Now, that's not a mistake. Ms. Hargrove was very detailed into what kinds of problems this causes and how this, in fact, endangers the property of Marshall County Park. That water that runs out and is wasted, we can't get back into the pipes. It's already gone through the meter. They've already paid for it at that point in time. That's money wasted. The erosion of the grass and soil, the inability to take care of that soil and the grass. This was at a time when Christmas lights were going up. With Christmas lights don't operate without electricity, and outside in the park, you've got wires everywhere. So having water everywhere when there's wires on the ground, obviously that creates endangerment. So really, this comes down to common sense. Yeah, it's a public park. You can use it. If you want to drink the water, get it out of the spigot. But turn it off. Just turn it on and turn it off. Now, how arrogant was it of him to tell Detective Gilbert that it's not his job to turn it off? It's the job of the Parks Department to turn it off. That's beyond the pale. That goes beyond the pale of reasonable use of park facilities. And that crosses the line into being a perfect picture example of this activity right here that we approve. Now, Mr. Brown said, and also, before I go back to that, Detective Gilbert said, just agree to not do it anymore. He wouldn't do it. Mr. Brown talked about the penalties. Judge Tilley went over the instructions about the penalties, up to $250 in fines, up to 90 days in jail. Folks, I am not asking you to put him in jail, okay? I'm not asking you to fine him $250. If you want to do something along that lines, then if you feel like it's that egregious, then that's your prerogative. I'm not asking for that. I don't care if you fine him $1. Okay, that's fine with me. If you fine him only $1, that will be fine with me, because this is your chance to tell him what he did is not acceptable. Find him guilty, fine him $1, and let's be done with it.
Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Instructions, Mr. Darnell, if you approach. And who's going to take the jury back? Deputy Stone, if you'll come around, please. And ladies and gentlemen, this is Deputy Stone. He will show you back to the jury room. Usually we get a little whiff when the food comes in. I haven't caught that yet, but